Happy Thursday, ladies and gentlemen, all in crypto here, and welcome back, guys, for another daily cryptocurrency market update. As always, we've got a jam-packed update ahead of us. We're going to be looking at some news relating to Binance, and we're going to be looking at a number of other things, a number of other interesting things taking place in the cryptocurrency market. Now, we've been really sort of expressing our uncertainty in regards to short-term direction here, but really reiterating our stance that we assess that a bullish environment is now in place and that crypto is going significantly higher over the next 12 plus months. And ultimately, we've been on that train really since January and largely validating, certainly if you look at the stock market as a kind of barometer for the environment that we're in, supporting upside. We've got a lot of validation from that. And we'll talk about the stock market because it kind of plays into the uncertainty. You know, there's a lot of reasons why Bitcoin may take a little bit more of a rest here. 30K not just being such a big hurdle. Again, you want that kind of running jump, and that might be in the form of, you know, coming down slightly into maybe the 27, 28s and then taking that run up. Stock market also looks like it wants to take a rest, and the dollar has just been absolutely killing it. And we've been looking for a reason why the dollar has been killing it. Yesterday, just to get this sort of boring macro stuff out of the way of, you had ADP non-farm employment changes. Okay, so this is a indication of essentially what is to come on non-farm payroll. The expectations was 191,000, so 191,000, and there was a beat to the tune of 324,000. Here we go again. Now this is, they will bend the data to support their narrative. Kind of looks like they want higher rates. There's a lot going on in the bond market. The bond market really has saw a rocket on the back end of this, which is concerning. It indicates dollar strength. It indicates more hikes. And that kind of a perhaps tighter environment. Now, we have done a video on the bond market. We ultimately think the bond market is the very thing that brings around the great financial reset. Hopefully, we've got some great guests coming on to speak about that, but I won't spoil that. We're really trying to launch the podcast. We did an interview with World Mobile that we launched yesterday on YouTube. We've also got it on the podcast. So look out for All in Crypto on Spotify and Apple Pod. We plan on being on all platforms and really sort of taking the podcasting thing very seriously because we speak to some amazing guests. Anyway, so we are a little bit uncertain here. This is obviously why the dollar's been strong. And this is, again, why we're not so sure. You know, the dollar has been strong, but it could roll. It's not done that yet, so that leans towards downside for crypto. Gold's looking a little bit weak. Stock market's looking ripe for a pullback. And it's very much followed the suit since we started calling for a pullback. You know, Michael Burry also calling for a pullback. You know, this is one of the times he'll be right. So on and so forth. A lot of targets were made on quite a few of the stocks. You know, you had things like Roku. We're currently teaching stage analysis in the Patreon if anyone wants to get on board with that. You often get a pullback after a break of resistance. Stage 1 into stage 2, pullback, second chance, off you go. And that could be on the cards. Again, with Coinbase, similar thing. Coinbase is a 200 plus stock. $200 plus stock, but you might get a pullback in an entry and a shot at getting it at 80 sort of 382. We have been calling this out since sort of the 40s. Again, look at things like Roku, etc., etc. So we're quite uncertain. Lots going on, really. You know, you could just be doing a similar thing, and I do think you are, to what you did here. And that might mean that, okay, you get another dip. It sort of drifts off down to this area, and then you get some sort of news that comes in and spikes it. I'm not convinced you're going to go all the way back to this neckline. Remember, we've still got targets. We're still bulls, right? We just think short term it's going to be choppy, and we're going to play it accordingly and try and capitalize on the moves and ultimately grow our cryptocurrency investment pots. If you want to find out more about that, do consider joining the Patreon. I'm going to bring out a video later where I'm going to look at these stocks, and actually, this is something that I haven't seen anybody cover yet, because there is something very interesting in regards to all of these stocks that may indicate that a raging bull market is about to ensue. So watch out for that video later on today, likely this evening. This came in yesterday. US Department of Justice officially are considering fraud charges against crypto exchange Binance, but are concerned about the costs to customers, according to people familiar with the matter. Federal prosecutors worry that if they indict Binance, it could cause a run on the exchange similar to the one that befell the now bankrupt FTX. Leave Britney alone. Leave CZ alone. Stop comparing Binance to FTX. You only need to have a little bit of intelligence about you to be able to see the stark differences between FTX and Binance, causing customers to lose their money and potentially spurring a panic in the crypto markets. The people said, "Oh, isn't that very good of the US government to be considering the cryptocurrency investors?" I mean, is this something they've only just recently started? I don't know. Prosecutors are considering other options, such as fines and deferring or non-prosecution agreements, according to the people. That outcome would be a compromise, holding Binance responsible for the alleged criminal behavior while reducing consumer harm. The debate highlights the complaint and rapidly evolving nature of crypto enforcement and regulations in the US, where firms operate in a legal grey area and consumers enjoy none of the protections of the traditional banking system. The DOJ declined comment. Binance didn't respond either. So CZ put out 4, which is his sort of anytime you see FUD, he's going to put a 4. And he hasn't actually responded to this on Twitter. This is the interesting thing about this. Not only are we transitioning from bull to bear, from bear to bull, forgive me. We're in this kind of period here. Bitcoin's a little bit further ahead. Altcoins are still very much here, if we look at total too. But we also have this regulatory uncertainty to go. And I think it's actually going to be the very thing that propels this industry once we start to get that certainty. I hate how TradingView's done this, but this is the total market cap. It's still what we would say basing out. You're here basically. Then you've got all of this to come. This is the real opportunity here, and we plan on making sure everyone's on that journey with us. But does that mean that, you can play it in lots of ways? Can you get a little bit lower before you go up? If Bitcoin goes lower, likely everything happens. We were looking for that hurdle. There's a lot going on. And I think with the Richard Hart and Paulson Hex sort of thing, you got to be careful, because I think Gensler's likely going to bring forward a few more lawsuits before this is all over. US Senator Thomas Chapman just filed for his purchase of short QQQ, so NASDAQ shorts, betting against US tech. Seems logical given where it's at, just technical levels to take profits. Again, is that going to lean on crypto? What's going to happen with non-farm? We've got an early indication of that. Guys, subscribe to this channel because we really try and piece everything together in a way that most others cannot. My short-term assessment is very much not sure. But leans more towards maybe a dribble down here, a placid kind of path of least resistance before you then get that uptick. And what that means for altcoins, I'm unsure. Some altcoins look particularly weaker than others. But there's lots of contradictory kind of things going on right now. So mid-long, bullish, short-term, is what it is. We'll let the market show us what it's going to do. Of course, the interesting thing as well, yesterday you had the downgrading of the US in regards to credit rating, global credit rating. Didn't do much for dollar weakness. However, it did do a lot for bond weakness. And bonds continue to get smashed. And remember your Raoul Pauls and all this PAL or whatever, sort of long bonds, SPY bonds wear diamonds. They have been 180 degrees wrong on that whole saga and got wrecked as a result of it. The Fed will eventually step in because I don't think they have a choice. But it could be at a later date, okay? And they're likely going to bring a crisis about in order for them to justify stepping in. And this is the great game. There's a monetary game that's played. And we try and we've done videos on it, like talking about the Great Reset. We're going to hopefully get some people on just to specifically talk about the bond market and help us all understand it a little bit more. We've done great interviews with Francis Hunt, who's really got a great understanding of it and the monetary game more so. But retail needs to pay attention to this stuff because this is how they manipulate your entire life through the bond markets, and thus the currency markets and so on and so forth. So it's very interesting. Warren Buffett, of course, coming out and saying he's not worried about Fitch's US downgrading. Why? I had this conversation with someone this morning when I was out getting some coffees. And actually the reason being is because the US is literally... everyone has taken the dollar poison pill. Without the dollar, without the US bond market, everything implodes. And if that implodes, everything implodes. Literally everything implodes. And that's why there's a lack of worry here. Berkshire bought 10 billion in US treasuries last Monday. We bought 10 million in treasuries this Monday. And the only question for next Monday is whether we will buy 10 billion in 3 months or 6-month T-bills, Buffett told CNBC. There are some things people shouldn't worry about, he said. This is one. Again, he is in a position to understand the dollar and its role more so than anyone. It will end eventually, but they'll control it. You know, it'll be controlled demolition. And we're very familiar in the West with controlled demolitions, and I'm sure some of you may get what I'm referencing there. But yeah, we'll see. It's a really interesting game going on. I think when I'm unsure, the best thing for me to just say to people is I'm unsure. If people think that that's laughable that I'm unsure what's going to happen right now, so be it. I really don't care. We're not going to take a side on the next couple of weeks until the market's shown us its hand. However, again, lean towards slightly more downside. We are sure about this environment now being a bullish one. We've got correlation across all markets. We've got confirmation across all markets. We've been largely validated with everything that we've said. We will see. But it's an ever-changing landscape that we'll watch, and we'll keep you guys up to date with it on this channel. On that note, I'm going to love and leave you guys. Hopefully you've all had a great day so far, and going to continue to have one. Thanks a lot for liking, comment, subscribing, and staying tuned with the channel. It really means the world to me, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Thanks for watching, guys. See you in the next.